my pleasure to be joined, as we are every Tuesday, on the JimsFirearms.net hotline by our guy, Derek Stingley Sr., defensive back coach over there at the Dunham School. Coach Sting, what's going on, man? How was Easter?
It was great, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing well. How'd you take in the holiday?
We naturally went to service.
Okay.
And then we had a little dinner. Derek came by the house extremely late, but that's to be expected with him.
He's at that age, dude. I wouldn't even answer my parents' calls in college. I feel horrible about it to this day, and I know what's going to happen to me with my daughters one day, and it already bumps me out. At least he talks to you.
He was out of town.
Okay.
Him and Cordell Flott went out to Cordell's place in Alabama, and then they came back kind of late. Thought they would come back a little earlier. So I give them a pass.
Yeah, me and my friends, we actually got the kids dressed, but we skipped church, and then my buddy's grandma called us out on it and was like, "Oh, I saw y'all get the kids dressed up to just make it, just to pretend, to make it look like." And I'm like, "Whoa, okay, look, man, I'm just an observer here, okay? I'm just hanging out." Coach, we just talked to Coach O about how spring's gone this far, and we never really talk about Lil Sting, right? We've been there's so many other question marks, and he's such a well-known, but he was talking about that he loves the leadership he's seen out of him, that he's been calling up the teams a couple times, and just that he seems to be taking steps forward in that regard. Is that something that y'all have focused on in terms of getting ready for year 3?
Yeah, I talked about it with a few times about, this is probably the year where he would have to be a little more vocal as a leader and not just in the corners room, maybe throughout the whole team. And, he's still kind of hesitant on that because he's just a reserved, stoic, shy, quiet type guy. But I told him, I said, look, there's no different than when you were in high school. When you were a young kid, you really just followed the lead of the leaders until you became a senior. Then everyone hung on your word. Like you led the team. You were okay with it because you felt confident about what you were saying and what you were doing, and there's no different. Hopefully he can come out this year. If not, maybe another year he'll have more confidence in speaking to the team as a leader. He did say Coach O called him up a few times. He said he was a little nervous, but he just went ahead and did whatever he had to do to try to, say what he needs to say to the team. But, I think he's coming out of the shell, but, they're still working with him. It's just something in him. He's, my wife is extremely quiet, so that's where he get that from.
Yeah, I was wondering because you weren't like that, right? Like, I mean, you seem like a pretty gregarious type of guy. Like, you didn't work on this. Have you always been this way?
No, I was actually kind of quiet as well. I became, this type person after I became a coach, and I had to lead grown men. I coached arena football, so that year in 2005 when I started coaching arena football, that's when I had to just really come out of my shell and say, okay, I have to be able to make these guys believe in what I'm saying and speak with some authority and speak the truth and, just come out with it. And over time, I got extremely better to where now I'm not even nervous about it. I'll talk to whoever, the President of the United States. I wouldn't be nervous.
Hey, but as you know, like Sting Jr. becoming, in that role and that kind of personality showing out will be big for the team because, look, fair or unfair, if a guy that is not a great player stands up in front of the room, it doesn't hit the same. Like when your best players on the field, when your standouts say, hey, here's what we need to be doing or this is what we have to do to win. I mean, we all as former players can agree that's going to hit home way more than if somebody else does it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then with someone like him, and because all his teammates know that he is a quiet guy, but when he does speak, I'm pretty sure they're going to say, wait, hold on. He has something very important to say because he rarely says a lot. But, I think that message will be heard loud and clear if he does come out and talk with the team or have something.
Coach, I know you have the opportunity to go to a lot of these practices and kind of scrimmages, and last Thursday was a kind of pseudo scrimmage. Did you get to go check out Thursday?
I was there, but I wasn't there to the end of it. But I saw the majority of it. So yeah, I was there. Yeah.
So we were kind of asking about guys that are standing out, and another name that keeps popping up is Mason Smith, the big man from Homa, right? I mean, I heard he looks just massive. What have you seen out of Smith in spring thus far?
He's looking real good because I think they have a few injuries. I'm not for sure because he's getting a lot of reps. He's getting a bunch of reps. Every time I look out there, I see him out there. And sometimes when I see the quarterback scrambling or he makes an errant throw, I always kind of look back because most of my focus is on the DBs, of course. And then once I see the quarterback get out of the pocket, my eyes go right back to the O-line, D-line, and I see Mason Smith like in the backfield, or he's being held, or he's chasing the quarterback, or he's getting some form of pressure, and it's coming from right up the middle too. So, I mean, this kid here, once he puts it all together and really figures it out, he's going to be tough to deal with. I mean, his size is unbelievable. Like I mean, he's the biggest guy out there. I don't think anybody in height and in like just stature. Like he's just solid all the way across the board, and I think he's going to be a dude. He's going to be a dude in the SEC and in the NFL for a long time.
And so this is a cat that should be going to prom right now, right?
I know, that's weird, man. When you look at him, I was like, how is somebody like this so freaking good at this age? But he's just a big kid, man, and he's getting it. He's putting it together.
Man, that's the defensive back's best friend when you can get a rush, especially if you can get an interior rush to speed up that quarterback's clock. I mean, I feel like that was something that you got in waves last year, but obviously getting more pressure on the quarterback is key for LSU, which obviously helps the defensive backs.
Oh, without a doubt, especially if you can do it with the front four, front three, whatever we're going to have. I mean, and then you play a little coverage with the backers and with the safeties in the corners. If you can do that without blitzing, oh, my God, that's the cornerback's best stream, best scenario, best everything. Because now we're getting pressure and we can cover up some of those quick passing lanes, those three-step balls for sure, and we can cover downfield a little longer. And I mean, not longer, but at least we know we have the deep ball because we have somebody in those throwing lanes with the short balls.
Coach, who's been filling in for who's been doing well or filling in for Eli Ricks on the other side of Stingley while Ricks has been out?
Dwight.
Okay.
McLaughlin, I think. Yeah, that's how you pronounce his last name. He's been making some plays too. I mean, he's an all-out kid, big body, long. He's not slender like most of those guys outside of Derek. He has a little weight to him, but he moves well. He plays with some energy. I've seen him make some hustle plays, some diving, outreach to where he can, get his hands on the ball. So he's a kid that, we're seeing what he's made of because now we know we have some good depth with him. He was thrown in a little bit last year too, towards the end of the season when Derek was out those 2 games, and he made a few plays. I mean, he made the play in Florida where the ball bounced off his head.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the light isn't too bright for him. He's a good teammate. I think everyone loves him. He's a little jokester at times, but he's young. But at the same time, he kind of gets as well. So he's getting an opportunity to showcase the skills for sure.
All right, Coach, you mentioned Jay Ward there, and that was actually going to be my next question. When you're moving from corner, and that's kind of what you've played, to a free safety position, what are the challenges that he'll face trying to make that transition?
More so communication, just getting everybody set, because it comes from the safeties most of the time, because they kind of see the formations head on, opposed from a corner where you're seeing it from the corner of the field. And then his angles on tackling, because now he'll be out in space a little bit more, where he have to feel more on the running backs, in the lanes, which Jay is a physical tackler. And then just in space, just making sure that he can secure that tackle, because he truly is the last line of defense. But I think with Jay, he's going to be just fine because he has this aggressive nature to begin with. He has real good ball skills, so that's going to help the safety position for him. And just being an overall communicator. I mean, it's been noisy out there. What I mean by that is I hear the checks. I hear them all talking, and it's not just the safeties, it's the linebackers, it's the corners, and you can hear it, but it really needs to come from the safeties to set it up. So Jay, I don't think he has a problem with that. I think once he really understands that position, meaning, where the checks come from, which he does. I mean, every now and then I see him go back and say something to him, but not a whole lot. But he's just bringing that energy back to the safety position that we've been missing for a minute.
All right, Coach. Last one here. We coach Derek Stingley Sr. I want to ask about the quarterbacks because when I asked Doe, I got an answer that I felt like was genuine, and he seemed like really excited about how these guys have been playing. Obviously, you're watching the DBs all the time. Are these quarterbacks truly challenging these defensive backs right now?
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, I don't see not one of them shying away from anyone. That's including Derek. You know, they take their chances, or they'll take what the defense gives them. I mean, it's some real good throws being made out there, and by all of them. I think TJ's making some throws. I was like, who just made that? Now I look back, I see TJ. I see Myles making those throws, Max, and then Nussmeier. The way he plays, he's a different guy from all those guys. The way he plays, he moves around a little bit, plays with a little more energy. You know, kind of remind me of like a Johnny Manziel type player, and I hope that's not a bad thing.
No, look, that's exactly what Coach said as well. So that's like that corroborates the story. Then I'm into it.
Yeah, and he's just an energy guy. But you know, all the quarterbacks, in my opinion, they make throws that maybe the other one can't make, but they're not afraid to challenge any of those guys. Any of them. I've seen it. I've seen them throw at Derek numerous of times, and they're not backing down.
Now whether they win numerous times, it's a different story. But I do like going for it at least. Coach Derek Stingley Sr. Coach, thank you so much, man, for waking up with us every Tuesday here.
All good, man. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too. Happy Easter. Have a great day. And when we get back, you know what time it is, Jake?
Mailbag?
It is OTB Mailbag, where we answer.
Look at me.
I know. Look at you. You're like a true off-the-bench regular now. We're here. We've made it. I have a obscenely large glob of, I think, earwax on my arm. I don't know what's going on there. So we're going to go to break. I'm going to figure that out. And when we get back,
let's figure that out.
OTB
I
Mailbag.
don't want you looking over here with that.
How did it end up on here? I have no idea. OTB Mailbag coming up next. Keep your questions in the chat. We'll answer.